Hi guys, Josh Allen from GAK.co.uk here, today with another GAK Vision video for your pleasure. Today we're going to be checking out a rather special piece of equipment from the guys at BOSS. This is the BOSS Waza Craft amplifier. So, the BOSS Waza Craft amplifier. What we have here is a 4-channel solid-state 150 watt monster of an amplifier here. So let's run through the front panel to start with. So as you can see here, let's start off on the left-hand side of the amplifier. First off, we've got my beautiful orange lead that is going straight into the input section here. Above this, we have one of the most important sections of the amplifier, which is the choices of amplifier. So first off, we have internal, which is the amplifier itself, and they're all voiced differently as well. Amplifier A is the first one that comes with a tone capsule, a BOSS tone capsule, which is the Waza Brown sound. So that's in part A, and then part B is left empty because there, as you know, there are some other tone capsules out there that you can actually fit into the amplifier. So for extending the use of the amplifier's tonal capabilities, basically going from internal, which is the amp, then going from A, and then going from B. So you have a plethora of tones, straight off the bat. One of the really cool things is the line out. So if you wanted to either do some recording or you wanted to take a line out while you were playing live, so you could have the amp up on stage with you unmiked, take a line out to the front of house, and then you can monitor yourself via the amp on stage, and then the front of house guy can sort of mix the levels in, so what comes out the front. So you have the recording, you have live, and then you have a blend of both, which is a really, really nice touch. So first we move on to the channels. So we've got the clean channel here. It shares its EQ with the crunch, so the clean channel has its own gain and its own volume, and then you've got the full EQ line there. So you've got bass, middle, treble, presence, and the reverb. And the master volume is located on the far right, but we'll get to that in a section. So you have your clean and you have your crunch button there. So that switches between those two channels. Below that, you have lead 1, which supposedly was Steve Vai's favorite channel on this amplifier because it really does create that awesome 70s, 80s cranked Marshall Plexi Brown sound out of it. And then we have lead 2, so we've got two different voiced sort of overdrives there. I'm definitely a preferable favour to the lead 1 as well, it just sounds wicked. And then we have its EQ there, as you can see, so same bass, middle, treb, presence and reverb with a master volume at the end. One of the awesome touches is that the amplifier comes with the actual foot switch for it as well, which as you can see, we have clean, crunch, lead 1, lead 2, A and B, which is for the effects loop. There are 2 effects loops on this amplifier. And just to show you how cool they are and how well they can be used, I have the mighty Strymon digital delay, the dig, running in the effects loop of effects loop A. And then we move on to a couple of more sort of chicken head style knobs at the other end. We have our cabinet resonance, which my favorite I have to say is the vintage. It just makes everything sound beautifully warm. And then we have modern and deep, which you can obviously, as the name states, you can see, you can sort of kind of already hear without hearing it what those characteristics are. And then finally we move on to the power control. So as I said, it is 150 watts of pure solid state power, and we can scale it back all the way to 1 watt. So we have 1 watt, 50 watts, 100 watts, and then at its maximum. So apart from that, the amplifier looks absolutely awesome in this carbon fiber looking chassis. You can obviously, I've got the 212 here mic'd up, but you can go to a 412 as well. So the other cool thing is that it has a Midi capability as well. So it works with things like BOSS's ES8 pedal and stuff like that. It works with BOSS's plethora of different sort of MIDI controllable pedals. So you have a complete universal BOSS and Roland rig here that is right at your fingertips. By just purchasing the amplifier, it goes with everything else that they have as well. So to demo the amplifier, I thought I'd grab two guitars at the complete opposite spectrum so I can really show you what this guitar amplifier is capable of. First off, I have this beautiful custom shop Les Paul gold top with P90s. Very fond of this, very, very cool guitar. And the other one for the overdrive sounds, what I have is this RG555 by Ibanez in this awesome purple sort of galaxy finish. So it's a mix between the galaxy black, but it's purple, which I really, really like. So we're going to start off with the clean tone, the clean channel, should I say, on the internal amplifier. I'll go through the different amplifiers on each channel so you can hear. I'm going to keep the EQ as they are set. The clean channel is basically set flat at 12 o'clock. The only one that's set differently is lead 1, which I've set to that sort of Brown sound setting, which actually BOSS give you the preferred settings for. So, and I said I've got the dig in the effect super, so I'll turn that on and off as we go. The cabinet resonance is set to vintage. I'm on the internal amplifier, so this is the clean tone with the gold top. So that's clean channel on amplifier internal. So let's move on to the A choice and see what that sounds like. So as you can hear, the difference is, the difference is there. You've got the slightly warmer sound of the capsule that is in tonality A. So that was the clean channel, and with using the two amplifiers that are already in there, with B being the empty slot, which is still usable, but I just wanted to stick to the internal and using the capsule so you can hear the differences there. So let's move on to the crunch sound and see what that sounds. I'm going to be using the foot switch to change between the channels here. So this is crunch with the internal and this Les Paul. So that was the crunch channel on amplifier's internal settings. So let's move on to A amplifier, which is the tone capsule inside the amp, and see what that sounds like. So far to me, an all-around just good sounding amplifier, especially with the Les Paul. So let's move on to the overdrive settings. This is lead 1 with the Les Paul with P90s, and then I will change over to the Ibanez for lead 1 and lead 2. So this is on this setting here, which is the internal, and let's see what it sounds like. So that was the settings on amp 1. That was the settings that you can achieve that Brown sound setting. Now, if we move to the actual tone capsule inside the amplifier and use this Brown sound setting, this is what you get. An incredibly expressive guitar tone there. I think it's a wicked, wicked blues rock sound, and I'm really, really fond of that sound. So let me move to the Ibanez Prestige 555 there and see what the guitar amplifier sounds on Overdrive 1 and Overdrive 2 with a more modern sounding guitar. So we now have the Ibanez in hand, so let's do the same as we did. They're on the same settings with lead 1, with the internal setting selected. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch this cabinet resonance to modern to make the whole sort of situation more of a modern sounding amplifier, especially with this Shred Master guitar here. So this is the same settings as we had it on with the Les Paul. I'll just add the Strymon dig involved there as well. So let's see what it sounds like. So straight off the bat there, we have an incredibly usable guitar tone, whether it be for your rhythm stuff, or your lead stuff. So what an awesome channel. As I said before, this was the settings of the sort of the Waza Brown sound. Now let's move to the capsule inside the amplifier using this Waza Brown sound setting and see what that sounds like. So just an awesome sounding setting on there. So let's move to channel lead 2, which I've voiced slightly differently. I'm going to keep the delay on. The reverb is up a slight amount as well. So this is the internal section on the amplifier with the Ibanez. So let's see what that sounds like. So that one, as you can see, is my full-on crazy shred mode that I put in there. It's a lot more gain, and it's a little bit fuzzier on the bottom end, which I really like, actually, for the higher notes. It makes them not as harsh to the ear, which I really like about that as well. So that was the internal section. Let's move to the Waza Brown sound capsule that's inside the amplifier and see what that sounds like with this tone. So that was the clean channel, the crunch channel, the lead 1 and the lead 2, and the effects loop all in use, you know, showing you through with these 2 guitars. So just before I end it, I want to show you the cabinet resonance and sort of the difference they have on the tone. So let me switch it to the vintage selection and just play a standard riff, and then we'll go through the 3 and see what you think. So this is the vintage. Let's move to the modern cabinet resonance. And finally, just move to the deep section. So there is a lot of stuff you can do with this amplifier, which is really, really cool. You know, it's just a really, really good sounding amplifier, which I think is wicked. So there it is, the BOSS Waza Craft solid state 4-channel mammoth leviathan incredible amplifier. I am in love with it. I think it's great. And if you guys gave it a go yourself, the amplifier is in store. Come and try it. I reckon you'll fall in love with it as well. So I've been Joss Allen for GAK.co.uk, and I hope you enjoyed the demo of this amplifier. Peace.